guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day, and we're going to dive into Britney Spears. I've covered Britney's story on and off for the last several months. I am a long-standing, closeted fan of Britney's, who still rocks some of her old songs on my Spotify playlist for when I work out. Now, last week, Kanye West went ahead and said that he was running for president, and suddenly, after he made the decision to run for president, Britney Spears and the Free Britney movement seemed to become reinvigorated because they said that, well, Kanye had spent time getting help. Britney had the same issues, so we need to free Britney too. I don't necessarily understand how this all came to be, and that's the rationalization, but that's kind of what happened. And with the continued movement, Free Britney is all over Twitter and Instagram with tons of different accounts discussing and dissecting and going through all the different reasons why we need her to be free and to have control again of her life. Now, Britney Spears has been in a conservatorship since 2007, 2008, when she went through a very public breakdown after she had divorced her husband, Kevin Federline. She, if you remember, actually had she lost custody of both of her boys at that time. It was a series of a lot of very troubling behaviors by Britney that led her family to ultimately seek help from the court in order to save her finances, as well as to help her with her life and maintain her financial life, maintain her daily care, and just to make sure that she could recover. Since all of this has happened, she has gone on and has successfully toured, and she has had albums. She did a stay in Las Vegas, and recently, last year, made the decision to no longer perform following her father having some health issues. Now, there's been some other stuff that happened last fall where her father actually got into it with her son Jaden. And so there's been some questions about whether or not she still needs to be in this conservatorship or not. Her father actually stepped down as a conservator shortly after everything happened with her son, and she has been under a temporary conservator since then. She was slated to be in court for an update to see what the plans were for her future, and that has been postponed until August due to the status of the world with the germs out there. So more and more people are wanting her to be freed. This also got propelled last spring when she spent some time in a unit to manage the stress and anxiety of what she said on Instagram related to her father, as well as some issues that she was dealing with in her life. Now, her manager, Larry Rudolph, actually came out at that time and said that she had been preparing for a new show in Las Vegas. Her father had become ill, and then her medications that she had been on for many years stopped working, and so she had to go into a new facility, and they had to work to stabilize and find a new balance for her. During that time, her boyfriend Sam was seen visiting. She was also seen going to outside eating with him. She went to court shortly thereafter where she asked to have less restrictions and more time with her sons, which was later denied by the court. And she showed up in those proceedings without her shoes on. Now, people have been saying on Twitter and through the movement that she is in this unnecessary hold with the state because they believe she's been able to tour, make music, she's been able to have a career and be successful. And so therefore, because of all of the things that have come out, these fans don't believe that she needs to have this conservatorship. And then there's been all these things about how, she can't have an email address, she doesn't have control of her finances. There's a lot of different conspiracies along with what people say are evidence. Now, late last week or over the weekend, a letter was revealed by her former photographer. And this is actually interesting, and I'm not quite sure why it came out again now. The same letter actually was published back in 2008 or 2018 on the Daily Mail. And This actually came out by a man named Andrew Gallery, who was her personal photographer in 2007 and 2008. And he did a TikTok where he actually read the letter. And the letter was written in third person, and it was, he said, given to him by her, then destroyed by her people. And it references all of the things that she went through. It says, just to give you sort of a high level, after reading Kevin's article in People, I was amazed at how a lot of the focus was on Britney and her and their mother to sell a story for People magazine instead of the focus being on Kevin. What happened to Britney was a year ago, and people need to get with the times. And as far as Kevin saying that Britney divorced him, she was forced to by her lawyers because she went to visit him in New York and he wouldn't see her and the children. And her lawyer said if she doesn't divorce him, he's going to do it himself. So Kevin trying to play the innocent victim is hardly irrelevant. He left her and the babies. Her going on the mend, partying 2 years ago has nothing to do with the situation now. She's a completely different person, and most of their fighting was done back then because of his waking and baking at 5 a.m. in the morning. It went on to say that she was set up with, if you remember, at one point in time, she had locked herself in a bathroom at her home, and they had to actually take her out, and she was placed on a hold. And that's what ultimately led to Britney losing custody of her children. The letter claimed that she was actually told by a friend in the house that everyone was going to leave, and so she should stay in the bathroom. It also mentioned in the same letter that she gives, her mother a $4 million estate. She paid, her dad has this great job working for her, and that she has given so much to everyone else that she just wants her freedom. So that letter is like 12 years old. Again, it's written in the third person. It's not verified that it's from Britney. Andrew says that it's from Britney. Either way, it seems to portray whoever wrote it is in distress and upset and has explanations for what happened. Now, what we know about these types of situations in California is that it's not super easy to get this sort of conservatorship. And then there's this common misconception that her father has control of it, when in fact it's actually run and under the state. And so the courts in California are actually her guardian, and then they appoint someone like her father or an independent conservator to manage her money, manage everything, make sure that she takes all of her medications, goes to her appointments, all of that. Underneath the conservatorship, she has very limited rights in terms of what choices she can make, access to her money, access to her emails, access to making choices. If you remember, at one point in time, she had a boyfriend that she wanted to marry, but there was rumors that her father did not approve, and so they weren't going to do that. She's been with her current boyfriend now for almost 4 years, and it's not known whether or not he is helping her or if he's a part of this. The conspiracies are really wild, and you've got people from all the guys from NSYNC sending her messages like, hey, Britney, we really want you to get better. We hope you're going to get better. We want you to be free. Britney's on her Instagram insisting that she's happy. This is what she's doing. She's posting videos of her walking with, different shirts on and posing and changing and dancing. She says that she's happy, but we think, as much as people want to free her, there's also this concerning post where a couple months ago she says, oh, hey, this is my gym. I accidentally burnt my gym down by leaving a candle lit in here, and this is what the place looks like now. There's always been this level of whether or not she's still unwell, or if she's just being, as some fans say, under so much medication it's making her that way. Either way, there's this massive momentum right now to free her, and in the court of public opinion, so many people seem to think that she has no choice. So what I did was I went to Twitter this morning and I asked my I asked my followers what their thoughts were about the Free Britney movement. And one of my subscribers said, to be in a conservatorship is not something that the courts hand out easily. So, in my opinion, she just needs it. Do I think the father should be in charge of it? No. I think a neutral party, not financially invested, should have the control with her best interests in mind, not money. Another person said, I don't know if she's 100% being held against her will. I believe that guardianship conservatorships are part of a corrupt system and many people are taken advantage of. I believe it's more likely than not. I would like to see an independent investigation. Another person responded to that and said, I agree with this statement. The fact that Britney's dad has control over everything doesn't sit well with me. Not saying that there is anything that's happening, but she should have professional conservator, in my opinion. And then one person said that made the point that I don't think people remember what caused it all to begin with and even know what happened, and they're just trying to be trendy. She walked into the salon, she shaved her head laughing as the paparazzi took videos and pictures, then attacked a car with an umbrella after shaving her head. And then another person said, there is no debate whether Britney is under a conservatorship or not. She is. There are court documents available online for anyone who wants to see them. These documents list one of her conditions as dementia. Do you think someone with dementia can have 4 years Las Vegas residency and do 4 world tours? And then one of my other subscribers said, I suspect it's a lot less sensational than the fans would like to believe. Why would she candidly admit to burning down her gym on social media weeks and months away from proceedings on her conservatorship? Her father seems to not be interested as well, stepping down from the role. And this is true. Her father did step down, and there has been someone newly placed as the conservator for her, who is the temporary conservator at least until August. And in August, the court will review and decide what they're going to do moving forward. It's hard to know because a lot of the documents in this case have been sealed. And so the bits and pieces that the media gets are very, it's small. There's this leaked document that she was put under the conservatorship under dementia. However, it's known, or it's at least been widely speculated, that she has bipolar disorder. So I don't know about, was that just used because that's what they believed was going on at the time, and now she has a professional diagnosis. I do know that last year when she had petitioned the court for more visitation with her sons and fewer restrictions, they did appoint an entire psychological evaluation of her, and it was done through court-appointed doctors, which were not chosen by the conservator. So they did a full psychological evaluation of her, and those doctors made the decision, made the diagnoses, they gave it to the court to give them an update, and it was at that time, through that update, that the judge extended the conservatorship. So I feel like there's way too many working parts here to say that it's, that everyone in California has got it wrong, and that all these people that have positions of authority, whether it's a doctor or a psychiatrist, that are treating her are not telling us the whole picture. I also understand that fans really just want her to have her freedom and want her to have a voice and a choice. I also understand the fans' concern that her father has a history of, alcoholism. He has had a run-in with, being not super nice to his grandkids. And you have her mom that wants to have a little bit more say in what happens to Britney. She actually petitioned at one point to be a part of the conservatorship so that she could at least know what was going on. She had long been estranged from her mother, Lynn, for a very long time. So with all of that being said, I don't really know one way or the other. I can understand both sides. One, it's not easy to get these. Two, these people think that she's 38, she's had a career, she should be able to do what she wants. I think, unfortunately, because we don't have access to the documents and we can't see how the doctors are treating her and we don't know exactly what's going on, and we're not privy to that information, it causes these wide conspiracies to go, right? And then you've got her mom that's sort of liking the comments and sort of saying, yes, let's free her, let's get her some more freedom, that type of stuff. And we should want anyone that is capable to have the freedom to take care of themselves. So it's going to be ultimately up to a judge in the state of California not her father, not her doctors, no one. It's the judge specifically that will decide what happens in August. And until then, the Free Britney movement will simply remain a place where people can talk about all of their concerns for Britney, probably out of a place of love. But ultimately, in terms of what it'll change for Britney, it's limited to nothing. So I would love to know what your thoughts are. Do we need to free Britney? Or is the state of California doing the right thing? Or do we just need to have somebody that's not her family involved as an independent to manage the conservatorship? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.